Greetings, my name is Michael. I'm the NEEN Regional Leader for Victoria and Tasmania, and we're going to go through a bit of a how-to to utilise the NEEN Opportunity Assessment Calculator today. It's basically a bit of a short journey just to assist you as you begin your energy efficiency roadmap. A couple of housekeeping issues before we start. Please ensure that you have the last 12 months of your billing data, both electricity and gas if that is currently consumed on site. Please also ensure that you are connected through to the internet. And if you do know the internal decision-making processes and budgets, it's also just useful to have on hand. It'll help you later to define your savings and capital expenditure parameters. And most importantly, please ensure that you turn your mobile phone off, close your doors, and allow yourself about 15 to 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to actually complete the tool. Please note that the purpose of this tool is not to replace your technical, financial, or operational advisors and your internal decision-making process. The calculator is to help you focus on what the energy efficiency opportunities are that best fit your organisational requirements and are in line with your internal capital expenditure policies. The tool is not designed to replace your existing organisational policies and procedures, but instead to complement any internal decision-making with a roadmap of the energy efficiency opportunities. Now that's out of the way, please jump onto the homepage, neen.org.au, and once you're there, you'll basically need to click onto the actual Quick Calculator tab, which is on the top just here, and it'll bring you through to the Opportunities Assessment Calculator. This is the welcome page, and what you'll have on the left-hand side here is the navigation tab. You'll always be aware of the stage currently being completed because it's highlighted in bold. So have a read through. Once this is all done, click here to launch the tool. This is a disclaimer, basically indicating with regards to some of the legal liabilities and responsibilities in the formation and the creation of the tool. Have a bit of a read, and if that's all fine, click I agree. Now, I've pre-populated some of this information just to expedite some of the entry. But what you need to basically do here is enter the organisational name, your relevant contact details, all listed here, inclusive of email address, and your postcode of the site being assessed. Once that's done, please click Go to the next step. You'll now be taken to a page which basically indicates the energy consumption, both electricity and gas, over the last annual financial year or calendar year. Please indicate the total energy consumption here in kilowatts and also gas usage. Please also indicate the energy spend and also with regards for both electricity and gas. So in this scenario here, it's about $35,000. And please also indicate what is the proportion of electricity being used in green power. We're using 0% for this example, and whether or not you're currently paying different electricity rates during peak and off-peak periods. If it's not the case, please leave this box unticked and then click Go to the next step. Here is basically where you'll indicate the organisational types. So if you're a church, please indicate the place of worship. If it's something that's your social support agency, please click office space as the most appropriate. Any of the other categories, aged care, childcare, youth and rec facilities, please click accordingly. For this example here, we're going to basically utilise the Community Arts and Cultural Centre. So just highlight with a tick and click down. Then also just indicate whether you're utilising the whole building or just part of the building on here, whichever radio button it is, just click it. And whether or not you have heating, ventilation and cooling also installed. Yes, we do. So we'll leave this button here ticked as well. It'll present a little bit of a pie energy chart, just indicating throughout the site where energy is being consumed. Lighting 25%, heating, ventilation and cooling 20%, domestic hot water 20%, and if you hover over any of the sectors, it'll tell you a little bit more. Now in terms of the way that the pie chart has actually been created, it's basically utilising default energy baselines, standards that have been created with data from both the New South Wales Government and Energetics. So it may differ from site to site and organisation to organisation, but it's a way to get started. It'll then indicate the equipment types that are there, and what we're going to be doing for this particular example is concentrating on the top 65% here of energy usage. So what we've indicated here, the areas to investigate, and we just basically tick the box like so. And here we're going to investigate lighting, heating, ventilation and cooling, and the domestic hot water systems, and indicate also your main energy source. Is it electricity or gas? Once that's done, you can go to the next step. You can click a lot more opportunities and it'll present a lot more. So each organization is a little bit different. So if you've done a lot already on lighting, you can potentially concentrate on IT and office equipment or kitchen appliances or something else if you wish. Basically, the more suggestions that you actually decide to investigate, the more time and resources that you have to dedicate. Now, the savings opportunities for the selected equipment are basically highlighted here. And this is where you get to drill a little bit more down with regards to the information. So, if you're not sure what the actual definition is, voltage reduction as an example, just hover over the little speech bubble just like this, and it'll pop up with a little bit more information about what that particular definition is about. It'll break down with regards to potentially reduction of energy use, savings, both in terms of energy and dollar terms, any type of upfront capital costs, payback period, and greenhouse gas emissions. Now I suppose this is where it allows you to create that decision-making process internally and decide what you guys would like to investigate. And this is where it's just as simple as just clicking on the tick box here, and it'll basically pop up. Anything highlighted here in green, I suppose, are the easy and the quick wins, denoted by the QWs. And if it's something that you've already done and it's not really relevant, you can basically decide, well, turning off lights when on, we do that as an organization. So I'm just going to untick that particular box. So I'm going to pursue a couple different types of scenarios here. So let's look at possibly delamping, clean lights and sensors. I want to look at my heating, ventilation controls, split system maintenance, economy cycle, natural ventilation, heat pump hot water systems, and also reducing thermostat settings. So once you've decided which opportunities they are, with all the boxes ticked, please go to the next step. It'll then ask you a few questions regarding whether solar PV is a consideration, and you have to ask a few questions of yourself. Are you currently on site for at least the next 7, 10 years for you to benefit from it? Do you have available roof space, particularly a northern facing orientation? And if you don't own the site, can you get permission from your landlord to install solar PV? If this is yes, then basically yes to all three questions, please do decide to proceed. Answer the question in terms of your business activity hours between 6 a.m. 6 p.m. if it's 100% of the time, fantastic. And any type of indicative roofing space. And it'll give you an idea in terms of what potentially the impact of solar PV is on your business in terms of savings, upfront costs, and potential energy cost savings as well. It'll also ask you whether you use voltage optimization. If you don't, again, it'll throw that figure in for you as well to give you another scenario. Again, this is all about letting you know what are the energy efficiency opportunities. Now, we talked a little bit at the start in terms of just the internal decision-making process highlighting savings and potential capital expenditure costs. This is where you get to define the parameters. So defining the energy cost savings as low, medium, or high. So we're just going to say anything that's under 5%, anything greater than 20% is the low to medium to high ratio. In terms of for the capital cost, anything that's $500 or less is considered a low cost. Anything $10,000 or more is a high cost. What this does is it then represents the opportunities that you've selected here in terms of a very easy priority matrix table. So you can see that over here are all the opportunities for quick wins, low cost, low impact, potentially to low cost, high impact. This here is potentially areas that are strategic decisions that need board decision, more capital expenditure, more further investigation. And anything over here is a waste of both your time, effort, and resources. So we're fortunate the majority are all in this section here. So in terms of identifying each one of them, they're all listed with a code, Q3, Q1, Q2, and you can see basically all the various codes here. So there's a corresponding between the actual activity with regards to costs and savings. Now what we want to do here again is that there's over a dozen different opportunities and we want to be able to actually work out what we can do. So you can basically again tick the boxes to pursue further or not, and it just indicates which of all these particular activities you would like to do. So I've decided to basically go with things that are potentially 1 year or less. But there's a couple others. I'm seriously looking at this voltage optimization and also solar PV as well. So I've also ticked these two boxes as well for that consideration and left a few others blank. Now what you'll have here is this preliminary energy cost saving plan. So this is really a good snapshot. So if you need to articulate it through to a board, management, or any type of decision makers, you can actually have this particular plan. It'll show the current energy usage here, current costs. It'll give you an indicative idea in terms of energy consumption on site. It'll give you in terms of some of the measures that are being considered by the organisation and potential energy savings that can be achieved. Now, what's the great part about this is it does set some of the actual accountabilities and timeframes that you can work on. So you can create a little mini project plan or timeline for you. So for like the heating, ventilation and controls, you can basically look at doing that a 3 months period time frame, start date next week until the first week of October. And you want to speak with basically your heating, ventilation and cooling contractors to find out what is the cost, what can be potentially done. And it's as simple as that. In terms of with regards to how we basically utilize some of the heating, ventilation and cooling, we want to hold a staff meeting. So within the next month, we'll hold out the regular staff meeting and we'll let our staff know this is the process that we want to do moving forward. You may then also need, what are the control times for circulating pumps, urns, heaters? Well, you'll need a bit more specialist advice. Let's speak to a hot water system contractor, and that's listed here. Voltage optimization and solar PV, you need more specialist information. Let's talk to our local Sparky. That being said, there's obviously the ability to contact a lot of different types of companies that specialize in voltage optimization and also solar PV companies out there to assist you in that regard. So this presents you with this, I suppose, a preliminary plan, which you can obviously take through the board and you can also print it off. The template's saved on the system, and if you do have another, I suppose, site that you're wishing to assess, all you need to basically do is go back through to the business information site here, and you can reset the application here and then go through that whole process again and enter in all your particular details. Thank you. I hope that was useful for you. Good luck on your energy efficiency journey, and if you do need any further assistance, please feel free to contact our head office or your respective regional leader in your respective states. Thank you very much.